My name is Ernest Bhabor. I'm a filmmaker. Nollywood product, so to speak. I was fortunate to be one of the founders of the Directors Guild of Nigeria. But recently I've started writing books. Funny story, back in the day, the industry was just getting real big, a lot of productions back and forth. There was no real organization, So the likes of Lancelot to do my friend. At this time I was Madusi Chikwen's assistant. I worked as an assistant director with him, like a trainee director, so to speak, So it was in Madu's office here in Ikeja actually, and Lancelot was there, Lancelot Maswan, Fidelis Juka, Marisuchikwende. We were all talking about how the industry ought to be organized better, how there had to be structures in place and things like that, So that's how I came up with the idea. I was just in the background, but I contributed, chipped in here and there, and we all decided that it's the right time to organize the industry, and we thought the Directors Guild will be the focal point, to be like the nucleus to try to bring everybody together. So at that time they decided to invite other directors, come and have a meeting to decide how to take this forward. A few weeks after that, the Directors Guild of Nigeria was born. The people and the Menechi involves, Ejiro, Chiko Ejiro, Matthias Bayagbo was actually the first president of the Directors Guild of Nigeria, So very exciting times, like. I've always been involved, been involved. Well, first, the reason why I left at the time I did was I had an opportunity to go do a film program in the United States. I also had one of my films was entered for a film festival, the World Fest Houston in Texas, which was blinded actually, which I wrote and directed. So I had to go, see about the festival. So what I liked, met a couple of other filmmakers. Left Texas, went to New York, went to California. My desire at the time was to go try to see about making films in the US, making films, collaborating with other filmmakers in the US, bringing my Nigerian experience, my Nollywood experience to work with other people. So the reason why I left was for film actually, to make films, do projects in Hollywood and things like that. But sometimes it's not always as you think it is, you leave and go to a new country, there's a whole dynamic there, So it didn't work out right away, but I met this girl that I fell in love with, and I was going to come back to Nigeria, but she did not want me to leave, so, somehow we got married, I had a baby, I had another one. So I pretty much started a life in America, because, it's really right to just, leave my wife and 2 kids and come back to Nigeria. So, but I've been coming back and forth in the last few years, like I said, I've always been in contact with Nollywood. All the players that I've always known, the directors, the producers, the writers, we've always been in contact, exchanging ideas, exchanging knowledge. I've always been part of it. Even if I'm not in Nigeria physically, I'm here, mentally and otherwise. I was small then, big now. It's hard to say because frankly, the biggest names then seem to be the same biggest names today. People like RMD, for example, Genevieve, Naji. These were people who were already on top of the game, as of late 90s or early 2000 when I left. They were already the first names you would consider if you're going to make a film, as far as actors were concerned. Jim Iyke, folks like that, Ernest Bhabor, but in terms of directors, for example, names like Malu would have come to mind back in the day. But today, Malu, I think, has gone into other things, a whole lot. But names like Lancelot as well, Utuwe Maswen, Felix Juka, and Jemerichi, Matazo Barabon, Felamata, even as an actor as well, would come to mind. Kepiekpe Young, Shegwa Rinze, as a matter of fact. Shegwa Rinze is one of the biggest names that would have come to mind back in the day, and today as well, as a matter of fact. And that's something I find quite strange because these are names that will be priority as far as productions are concerned back in the day, and it's still are today. So that kind of makes me wonder if there's a type of stagnation. Has there been of course, there are a whole lot of actors out there, a lot of talented stars, writers, directors, whatever, actors in front of camera, behind the camera. But the question is, has there been a lack of growth? You know what I mean? In terms of the whole big name thing. If Genevieve, RMD, Chevron Rize, for the matter, Jim Iyke, are the biggest or were the biggest names in 2002 when I left, and they're still the same today in terms of the biggest names. It's kind of weird. I think the names then are still the names today, which doesn't really tell well of the industry, I think. Recent names, I'm really not familiar with a lot of names today, but I'm sure there are other names that I'm not personally familiar with. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, if I were to do a film today, the names I mentioned would probably be the first names I write down. I'm sure there are a few others. Probably others, some folks might, recommend names as well. But I would have to go look for their works. You know what I mean? But the names that I mentioned, that people that I'm familiar with, I've seen their works, I know them personally, I know their work ethic, I know how they, work, and but the newer names that I might not know personally, I've not really seen, perhaps never really seen their works. I might have to go study their works and consider them, if I would consider them for something else. That's just me, Potential, in one word. The industry has a lot of potential, The industry has a lot of talent. That is a fact, you know what I mean? That is undisputable. There are great talents behind the screen and behind the camera, in front of the camera, But as an observer, or as a consumer, that's what I would think. Oh, great talent, great films, or some great films. But as a filmmaker, what I would say is the industry needs a lot of reorganizing. It needs to be structured, the same way. Especially because of some experience I've had in the last few years with, stories I've heard, issues that have come up, problems with artists, problems, medical problems, for example, financial problems, problems with piracy. I know for a fact that a lot of people who make films, especially in Nigeria, do not make a lot of profit from it. Some of them actually go bankrupt after spending a lot of money to make a film. That is sad. You cannot make a film for several millions of naira and not make your investment back. That is totally wrong. There are films that are okay. First off, I live in New York. I have a bunch of friends in New York, from across the world, from Europe, from the Caribbean, from all over. A lot of these people, once they learn Nigerian, the first thing they say, oh my God, Nigerian movies, I love those films, I have a lot of them. I got a bunch of these films. And I'm saying to myself, damn, these actors don't even get this, they don't even know how far and wide their products have gone. But when you meet them in person, and the ones I know personally, your life so really not that of a movie star, who is known around the world, for example, A lot of Nigerian movies are on the internet, on YouTube and all kinds of places. People download them all the time. They're very recognizable. Give you an example. I know some actors who have been homeless in Nigeria, that is. I know some actors who are unable to pay their rent. I know some actors who are having health issues and can't go see a doctor, or don't have the funds to go see a doctor. Now these are actors whose films are shown around the world, shown on planes, on flights, and in certain libraries, they are streamed on certain websites, millions of people around the world have DVDs of their movies, but these guys don't even have a pot to piss in. That is terrible, That is the biggest concern I've had about the whole industry for a long time. The fact that the piracy thing has really been a main problem that has not been checked all this time. That's, as an observer from New York, that's my concern. My fear for my colleagues here. They're doing all these works, they're making all these movies, churning out productions every year, and not getting paid for them, or paid enough for them, not getting the benefit of their hard work.